An extremely exotic country where very strange things happen during the day and night. If you are an older person, this country is perfect for you because young women there marry older men. Bangladesh is located in South Asia, in the region of the Indian subcontinent. To the north, it borders the Indian state of West Bengal and the Indian states of Assam, Meghalaya, and Tripura. To the east, it borders the Indian states of Mizoram and Tripura, as well as Myanmar, Burma. To the south, it is washed by the Bay of Bengal, and to the west, it borders the Indian state of West Bengal. Bangladesh is also known by many from the region as East Pakistan. It is a very complex topic that you will understand now. The region that is now Bangladesh has been inhabited since ancient times, with evidence of ancient civilizations such as those of Maurya and Gupta. During the medieval period, the area was part of various Hindu and Buddhist kingdoms, including the Pala and Sena kingdoms. From the 13th century, the region began converting to Islam with the arrival of Muslim sultanates, such as the Bengal Sultanate. In the 16th century, Bengal became part of the Mughal Empire, known for its economic and cultural development. The Bengal region was one of the richest and most densely populated in the empire. In the 18th century, after the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the British East India Company took control of Bengal, which later became part of the British Raj. During British rule, Bengal's economy was transformed, but also suffered from famine and economic exploitation. In 1947, British India was divided into India and Pakistan, with East Bengal becoming part of Pakistan, as the province of East Bengal, later called East Pakistan. This partition was marked by violence and mass displacement. From the 1950s, discontent grew in East Pakistan due to political and economic discrimination by the central government in Islamabad, located in West Pakistan. The Bengali language movement, 1952, was a significant milestone in the struggle for linguistic and cultural rights. The conflict culminated in 1971, when East Pakistan declared independence, resulting in the Bangladesh Liberation War. The conflict was marked by extreme violence, including genocide and displacement. On December 16, 1971, after a military intervention by India, Bangladesh gained its independence from Pakistan. After independence, Bangladesh faced significant challenges, including post-war reconstruction, political instability, and natural disasters. The following years saw a series of military coups and authoritarian regimes. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the first president, was assassinated in 1975, followed by an era of military regimes. In the 1990s, Bangladesh began moving towards greater democratization, although it continued to face political, social, and economic challenges. In recent decades, Bangladesh has experienced significant economic growth, especially in the garment sector. However, it still faces challenges such as corruption, poverty, and vulnerability to climate change. Bangladeshi politics continues to be dominated by two main figures and their respective parties: Sheikh Hasina, Awami League, and Khaleda Zia, Bangladesh Nationalist Party. Bangladesh has a rich cultural heritage influenced by various religious and ethnic traditions. The Bengali language, arts, music, and literature play important roles in the country's cultural life. Festivals such as Pohela Boishakh, Bengali New Year, and Durga Puja are widely celebrated. Islam is the predominant religion, but there are also Hindu, Christian, and Buddhist minorities. Most of Bangladesh's territory is made up of alluvial plains. These plains are extremely fertile and result from the sediments brought by the Ganges, or Padma, Brahmaputra, or Jamuna, and Meghna rivers. Bangladesh is situated in the Ganges-Brahmaputra Delta, the largest delta in the world. This delta is one of the most fertile and densely populated areas on the planet. Although the country is predominantly flat, there are some hilly regions in the southeast and northeast. The Chittagong Hill Tracts in the southeast and the hills in the Sylhet and Mymensing regions in the northeast are the most notable areas. Bangladesh is traversed by a vast network of rivers. The main ones are the Ganges, Padma, the Brahmaputra, Jamuna, and the Meghna. Besides these, there are numerous other smaller rivers that branch out and form a complex hydrographic network. Due to its topography and the presence of so many rivers, Bangladesh is frequently affected by floods, especially during the monsoon season. These floods can be devastating, but also contribute to soil fertility. Bangladesh has a tropical monsoon climate, characterized by hot, humid summers with heavy rainfall from June to October, and dry, mild winters from November to February. Bangladesh's location in the Bay of Bengal makes it susceptible to tropical cyclones, which can cause significant damage and loss of life. In the southwest, Bangladesh is home to the largest mangrove forest in the world, the Sundarbans, which is a UNESCO biosphere reserve and home to the famous Bengal tiger. The country has rich biodiversity, with various species of flora and fauna found in its forests, mangroves, and wetlands. The growing population and agricultural expansion have led to deforestation and soil erosion, negatively impacting the environment. Bangladesh is one of the countries most vulnerable to climate change, with rising sea levels threatening its coastal and deltaic areas. The geography of Bangladesh is fundamental to understanding many of the challenges and opportunities the country faces, from water and agricultural resource management to mitigating the impacts of climate change. Talking more about the daily life in Bangladesh. The daily routine in Bangladesh varies greatly depending on the region, social class, and individual lifestyle. Most people wake up early, between 5 and 7 in the morning, to start the day. The country's hot and humid climate contributes to this, as temperatures begin to rise quickly in the early hours. For Muslims, who make up the majority of the population, about 90%, the Fajr prayer, the first of the day, is usually performed before dawn. The morning meal is usually simple and light, with tea, bread, rice, or noodles. In rural areas, fresh milk and local fruits are commonly consumed. Most people start working or studying around 8 in the morning. The agricultural sector is the main employer in the country, with about 40% of the workforce. Other important sectors include the textile industry, construction, and commerce. The cities of Bangladesh, especially the capital Dhaka, are known for their chaotic traffic. Rickshaws, tuk-tuks, buses, and crowded cars move through the narrow and congested streets, creating a noisy and busy environment. Lunch is usually eaten at home or in small local restaurants. Bengali food is rich in spices and aromas, with dishes like rice, curry, dal, lentils, fish, and chicken. Activities resume after lunch and generally extend until late afternoon. Tea is a very popular drink in Bangladesh, and it is common to take a tea break in the late afternoon. Black tea with milk and sugar is the preference for most people. For Muslims, the Maghrib prayer, the sunset prayer, is performed in the late afternoon. Dinner is the main meal of the day and is usually more substantial than lunch. Families gather to eat and talk. After dinner, people usually relax at home, watch TV, talk with friends or family, or stroll through the streets. For Muslims, the Isha prayer, the last of the day, is performed at night. Most people go to bed around 10 or 11 at night. Friday is the holy day for Muslims, and many of them attend mosques for congregational prayers. Shops and businesses tend to close earlier on this day. Saturday is a day of rest for most people. Families gather to do activities together, such as cooking, watching movies, or playing games. Sunday is a normal working day for most people. Bangladesh has a rich calendar of festivals, reflecting the country's cultural and religious diversity. Pahela Baishakh, the Bengali New Year, celebrated on April 14th or April 15th. Eid al-Fitr marks the end of Ramadan. Eid al-Adha commemorates Abraham's sacrifice. Durga Puja, a Hindu festival that celebrates the goddess Durga. Buddhist Pohela Boishakh, the Buddhist New Year, celebrated on April 14th or April 15th. Bangladesh is also known for its street food, made fresh with exotic ingredients. Many Americans and Westerners in general are shocked by how food is prepared, and especially by the lack of hygiene when they arrive in Bangladesh and order food from these places. Often the preparers do not wash their hands, rats run next to the pots, and all of this happens live during the day. The lack of hygiene is a major issue in Bangladeshi society. A large part of Bangladesh's population lives in poverty, which limits access to clean water, basic sanitation, and hygiene education. Bangladesh is one of the most densely populated countries in the world, making it difficult to provide adequate sanitation infrastructure and increasing the risk of contagious diseases. Many areas of the country do not have access to piped drinking water or proper sewage systems. Septic tanks often overflow, contaminating the soil and water sources. Lack of access to education and misinformation about the importance of hygiene contribute to the persistence of unhygienic practices. Some cultural practices, such as open defecation, can contribute to the spread of diseases. The lack of hygiene is directly related to the high incidence of diarrheal diseases, respiratory infections, and other contagious diseases in Bangladesh. These diseases cause a high mortality rate, especially among children under the age of 5. Diarrhea and other hygiene-related diseases can lead to malnutrition, especially in children. Malnutrition can cause physical and mental development problems and increase the risk of death. The lack of hygiene also negatively impacts the country's social and economic development. Hygiene-related diseases reduce productivity and increase health costs, which can delay economic growth. The government of Bangladesh and various international organizations are working to improve hygiene in the country. The government is investing in the construction of latrines, sewage systems, and potable water networks throughout the country. Hygiene education programs, awareness awareness campaigns are being conducted to educate the population about the importance of personal hygiene and environmental sanitation. Practices such as frequent hand washing, using potable water for drinking and cooking, and properly disposing of waste are being promoted. The government and international organizations are supporting the work of NGOs and other civil society organizations working to improve hygiene in local communities. Additionally, Bangladesh has experienced robust economic growth in recent decades, with average annual growth rates above 6%. The economy is driven by sectors such as agriculture, the textile and garment industry, remittances from migrant workers, services, and manufacturing. The currency of Bangladesh is the Bangladeshi taka, and $1 is equivalent to 23 Bangladeshi takas. Although it has lost share in the GDP over the years, agriculture is still a significant part of the economy, employing the majority of the workforce. Rice, jute, tea, cotton, tobacco, vegetables, and fruits are some of the main crops grown. Floods, water shortages, soil erosion, and climate change are challenges faced by the agricultural sector. The textile and garment sector is the largest contributor to Bangladesh's exports and employs millions of people. Bangladesh is known for its cheap and efficient labor, which has attracted significant foreign investment in this sector. Issues related to workplace safety, labor rights, and environmental sustainability have been areas of concern. The service sector, including trade, transportation, communication, financial services, and tourism, has been growing rapidly, driven by urban growth and the expanding middle class. Remittances sent by migrant workers abroad also play a crucial role in Bangladesh's economy, significantly contributing to GDP and helping reduce poverty. In addition to the textile sector, Bangladesh is seeking to diversify its export base, including products such as pharmaceuticals, leather goods, plastic products, and food products. The government offers various tax incentives and facilities to attract foreign direct investments in these sectors. Bangladesh faces significant challenges related to poverty, income inequality, and lack of access to basic services. Underdeveloped infrastructure, including energy, transportation, and telecommunications, can limit economic growth. Issues of corruption, lack of transparency, and weak governance continue to be obstacles to economic development. Bangladesh is working to achieve sustainable economic growth, including diversifying the economy, investing in infrastructure, and improving the business environment. The country is looking to increase the participation of high-value-added and technologically intensive manufacturing industries in its economy. Investments in education, health, and professional skills are essential to driving inclusive economic growth and reducing poverty. We saw that $1 is equivalent to 115 Bangladeshi takas, which means that at first glance, the dollar is highly valued compared to the Bangladeshi currency. However, this does not always translate to affordable prices for those earning in dollars. So, check out the cost of some things in Bangladesh. The monthly food cost for a family of 4 varies between $60 and $140. In other words, one person can spend less than $20 per month. Rice costs 60 cents per kilo. Milk costs $2.50 per liter. A kilo of chicken is $2. It's surreal how cheap the food cost is in this country. The cost of housing is reasonable, as you can find apartments in large cities ranging from $80 to $160. Depending on the number of rooms and the size of the apartments. But if you compare the price of an apartment in Sao Paulo with an apartment in the capital of Bangladesh, the prices in Bangladesh are super cheap. If you just want to visit and spend a few days, accommodations are very affordable, with some rooms in the capital Dhaka available for less than $20 per night. Isn't that great? Women in Bangladesh have a great diversity of physical characteristics due to the mixing of different peoples throughout the country's history. Generally, they are considered short and slim, with dark and long hair, brown or black eyes, and brown skin. The traditional women's attire in Bangladesh is the sari, a long piece of fabric wrapped around the body and pinned at the shoulder. The colors and patterns of saris vary widely, but are usually vibrant and reflect the woman's culture and religion. Bengali women often wear jewelry, such as necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and rings. The jewelry can be made of gold, silver, brass, or other metals, and is often passed down through generations. Women in Bangladesh are known for their strength and resilience. They face many challenges in their daily lives, such as poverty, discrimination, and domestic violence. However, they persevere and continue to fight for a better future for themselves and their families. Bengali women are also known for their kindness and hospitality. They are always welcoming to visitors and strive to make them feel at home. Women in Bangladesh take great pride in their culture and traditions. They pass these traditions on to their daughters and grandchildren, ensuring they are preserved for future generations. Family is very important in Bengali culture. Women are generally responsible for taking care of the home and children. They also play a significant role in family decision-making. Bengali women are increasingly participating in the workforce. They work in various sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, industry, and services. One curious fact is that due to the high level of poverty in the country, when wealthy retired men arrive, women there are eager to marry these wealthy retirees quickly. So if you are single and retired, perhaps Bangladesh could be an option for you to start a new life. The truth is that Bangladesh is a very exotic country, full of peculiarities in its cities, such as tuk-tuks, unhygienic street food, women marrying older men, and much more. What do you think about visiting or perhaps living in Bangladesh, marrying a beautiful woman with Indian features, and having a life in this country? Comment below. Well, I'll be signing off here. See you in the next video.